All right, y'all. I see Brenda's in the room. Travis is in the room. Peace, y'all.
Peace.
Peace, Gap.
Hey, hey.
Peace.
All right. Well, let's get into the agenda. This is also being recorded, so hopefully we can share this out to the awardees, land awards, and they can get this information. Today is kind of impromptu in some ways. We had a meeting. Our land consultants have meetings every other week. And in those meetings, we kind of talk about the various awardees, which are all of you, who they are assigned to. And essentially, every single year, Detroit Black Farmer Land Fund makes these awards. Let me put somebody on mute. Somebody is a little loud.
Travis.
It's Travis. Okay.
I ain't said one word. No, that's me rambling through my papers. I'm sorry, guys.
My bad.
I'm like, what is that? Okay. So every year, right, we make awards for land purchases, and all of you were awarded in 2024.
Turn left on State Street.
Once that, can somebody support me on in the chat? Making sure folks is muted. Potentially Travis or Brenda, Patrice.
Yeah, I got you.
Okay. Once those assignments are made, once these awards are given out, we have 4 land consultants who essentially are assigned a various amounts of awardees to support through the process. So all of you have been assigned a land consultant, right? I believe it was in December, we made one of the first interactions, which was an introduction, letting you know who your land consultant would be, how to contact them, and knowing that they are there to support you through the land purchase process. And so this meeting is kind of a result of us following up with each other, hearing updates on how you guys are doing, and deciding maybe we should do a midway check-in. Maybe we should make sure we know where everybody is at, hear some of the potential obstacles you guys are dealing with, and be able to address them. Also be able to redirect and reintroduce you to your land consultant so you can have that support through this process. And so we want to start with an overview of the land process in terms of purchasing that land. We have Patrice on the phone with us, who is going to kind of walk us through that land process. I'm going to quickly walk you through what we call awardee checklist. And that awardee checklist will kind of hit some of the things that Patrice is talking about, but it really is going to help direct you into what you need to be thinking about when you're talking to your land consultant. What are the steps and what are the processes to getting closer to putting in your land application with the Detroit Land Bank Authority? So I'm going to share my screen really quick, and we can kind of look at a document that one of our land consultants, Tanya, edited to support us. So
I'm gonna call a land bank.
So this is an awardee checklist. All of you have received it, and if you haven't received it after this presentation here, I will make sure that you all get it again. Essentially, it is breaking down what it means to have an award with the Detroit Black Farmer Land Fund, right? And so the top of this page starts with infrastructure. We have 2 different awards. One is for land purchases and one is for infrastructure. So that is hoses, that is sheds, that is things you may need to actually put on your farm, compost, things you may need to start the farm. So all of you got awards, and you either got a land award or infrastructure award, or you have both. In the event that you have both, we're asking that you actually own land before you start buying things for your project, right? So if you have a land award and you have an infrastructure award, that means you have to make that land purchase first, right? So we're going to go down to the land awards. So people who have land awards, the first step is to connect with your land consultant, right? And so we have 4 land consultants. And before we get off of this call, my hope is that everybody knows who their land consultant is, how to contact them, and what is the next step, right? So the first step is connect with your land consultant. The second step is finalize property you would like to purchase. How do you do that? How do you do that? This is something that your land consultant can help you with greatly, but there are a few tools that people use to search their property. You can do that on the land bank website. You can also do that on something, a map called Regrid, REGRID. And this is just a search. You can search the address and see who owns it. And that's the first question, who owns this land? So through site selection, you're asking yourself, how are neighbors using it? One of the things we really want is for you to have some kind of connection to the land that you're buying, right? So do you live in the area? Do you know the community that's around the land? So asking yourself that. Asking yourself, what's the state of the land? Is there dumping happening on the land? Is there already a community of people that's using this land for a particular reason? Because that tells you how you need to move forward, right? It also potentially tells you what may be in the soil outside of actually getting a soil test. How is this land zoned? So that's a big question, but that's definitely something that your land consultant can help you support you through. And thinking about where the land is will also kind of help suggest what that means. Is it on a main street? Is it next to other businesses? Is it a residential block, a neighborhood block? Some of those things could help to give you suggestions for what that might mean in terms of how is it zoned. Either way, as you go through this process, most of you will experience something called a market value property. There's different kind of purchase processes, and some of you will experience a compliance process, which will ask you to change the zoning of your property. And we'll talk a little bit about that in Patrice's presentation. Think about things in terms of your plot plan, your design, as you're thinking about how to model this land. You're thinking about vehicle access. How can people make drops, compost drops? How can you deliver things? Are there clear sight lines? Is there adequate sun in the area that you want to grow? So you're asking yourself all these different things. What is the proximity to water? And this all has something to do with the site that you end up selecting, right? And it particularly has something to do with the way you plan that lot. And that drawing, that plan is called a plot plan of what you want your lot to be. What is on that land? It's a thing that Detroit Black Farmer Land Fund also asks you for, to have an idea of the narrative and what you want to do on the land. But it's also a thing that the Land Bank Authority is going to ask you for. They're going to ask you for a visual of that, represented on paper. And so knowing what you want, where you want it to be is very important. Another thing here is change of address. If throughout this process you would like to change the property from what you requested in your application, there's a form for that. So it may be that you go through this process, you select a particular site, but you do your soil test and that's not a site that you no longer want. And so this is a document that you can go through to both change your address, let us know, but also begin in this process with the land bank to change that address. And that may result into putting in a separate application. Third step is a soil test. So this is the thing that we require in the process of being able to purchase your land, is that you know what's on the land, right? If the intention for these funds is to farm, you have to know if you can and how you can on that land based on what's in the soil. And so we work with Keep Growing Detroit. I believe Mama Angela is on the call with us, but we work with Keep Growing Detroit. You have soil tests available to you through that relationship. And we recommend, we also require, right, you to use that. So when you know what your site is, once you've made that site selection, the next step is to take that soil test. It's to talk to your land consultant. It's to work with these resources to get that soil test, or it is to do that soil test on your own. And we have sent out some instructions on how to do that. But if anyone doesn't have it, I can make sure that people have that. Travis has his hand raised.
Yeah,
What's
peace,
up, Travis?
everyone. Just want you all to remember that when these lands are sitting, they're a lot of times are dormant, and they don't become interested in pieces of land or activated until one of you all starts stirring the soil, so to speak. So kind of be discreet. I I usually try to time it when you're doing your soil test. Make sure you're already in communication with the land bank authority and you got your application is approved, if you all get what I'm saying. You'll do your soil test, say a neighbor across the street sees you out stirring in the land, and before you get the process, they come in and like usurp you or go behind your back and swoop the land up. So I've seen that happen before. Just want to throw that out there. Thanks, Gabby.
No, for sure, for sure. Travis is one of our land consultants, by the way. So you'll get to hear from Travis a little bit more later in this presentation. So yeah, soil test, soil test. It is something that, making sure that you talk to your land consultant and be in conversation, which will bring in Keep Growing Detroit and bring in these resources to help you. I think that both your land consultants and Keep Growing Detroit is familiar with how to be discreet about it, but also make sure that you get it done because you do want to know what's in your soil, right? If we're farming, if we're growing vegetables for our community, we do want to know what's in the soil. Step 4, finalizing community engagement plan. And that really just means knowing who your community is, making sure you understand who your community is. And a lot of times throughout this purchase process, you will have to potentially contact the neighborhoods department, contact maybe a church or a block club or someone to get a letter of support. And so it means that you have to be connected to the area that you're trying to purchase land in. It means that you have to be connected to the area. Step 5, plot plan review. And that's essentially what I was talking about, that physical drawn out image of what you plan to put on your land. We require that in our application. We ask for that in our application. The land bank requires that within their application, which means you have to know what's best for your land, maybe look at it discreetly, understand what you want to draw, what you want to put on it, and then make that image out because that goes with your application. Step 6, apply to purchase. There are listed a few different ways to make purchases here. But if you're purchasing from the Detroit Land Bank Authority, check the eligibility for various programs. And so there are various programs on the Detroit Land Bank Authority website. Patrice is going to dig a lot deeper into this, but I'm going to briefly say we have side lots, and that is essentially buying a vacant lot that is right next door to a home that you own, right? Second is a neighborhood lot, and that lot is potentially not a home that's directly next door to you, but it's within, I believe, 500 yards, 600 yards. So it may be on your block. It may be somewhere in the area of a home that you own within 600 yards. Lastly, there is create a project, which is, there's a lot of restrictions to it, and I think Patrice is going to talk a lot about it, but essentially it is a program that was created for community organizations to be able to purchase land, right? And so it's majorly discounted. You get land for $250, but the drawback is that you can't build you have certain build restrictions for up to 3 years. And so sometimes that's a good deal. You know, if you're looking to do raised beds and build some in-ground beds, it is very affordable, and something that you can do. It does require you to, again, be in relationship with community. It does require particular endorsements from neighborhood block clubs, or community organizations, or essentially people who are in partnership with the Detroit Land Bank Authority, in some sort of way. There is also, it's not explicitly on here, but there is also what's called market value. And a lot of times some of our lots fall into that category where they don't quite meet the side lot requirements in proximity. They don't quite meet the neighborhood lot requirements. And so they are pushed into potentially being market value, which is starting at 20 cents a square foot, but upwards of, you know, it could be depending on the area, right? In the neighborhood, in the development, and whatever's going on, that could be affected majorly, and those prices could fluctuate. So lastly, I'm going to try to move through this because I know Patrice is going to cover a lot of this.
Gabby,
So
you
finally, you're
got
looking.
it, okay? Gabby, you got it, girl. Go ahead.
Finally, there is getting to sign your purchase agreement, right? This often is looking like a deposit of some sort and a title search, a title fee, is what they say. And so this is a point, this point of putting in this application and this point of actually signing this purchase agreement is pivotal, because this is the point where they begin to actually approve this and you start to make payments. And if you are an awardee of the Detroit Black Farmer Land Fund, we need to know, right? We need to know that this is happening so we can support you and make that check available to the land bank on your behalf, right? And so this means, again, being in communication with your land consultants, making sure you know our email and you send us an email, making sure you're on your email and in communication with the land bank, because they're going to communicate to you via email, right? This whole exchange, this whole conversation is typically going to happen over email. So you're signing your purchase agreement, and they're typically asking you to make that earnest money deposit, or they're asking you to make that title fee. And this is, again, the space where you need to make sure that we're aware of this so we can help make those payments for you. And so these payments can happen and typically happen as a direct deposit. We typically make wires directly to the land bank. Sometimes we make cashier checks in which I'll personally deliver them, or I'll ask you to schedule your appointment with the land bank and I'll make that check available to you before that meeting. Closing. Land bank is doing various things these days. Sometimes they do in person. Sometimes they're actually sending you things to sign over DocuSign. So it actually depends. Sometimes they're sending you to a title company. It depends on your purchase process. It depends on what purchase program you have. Let me mute this person. It depends on what purchase program you're going under, right? So if you're doing creative projects, that may look like a cashier's check directly to the land bank. If you're doing market value, that may include a title company. So there's a lot of different closing processes that happen. We talked about this a lot today in our meeting, which is once you make that closing, once you receive, you do that closing, you sign those papers. Typically in those papers, there's going to be a transfer affidavit, a property transfer affidavit. And what that means is it's a declaration that the property has been transferred, right? It once belonged or was being stewarded by the Detroit Land Bank Authority, and now it has been purchased and it's been transferred to you or your organization, and you have to let the city of Detroit know. There is a department within, Patrice can give you more information about that, but there is a department within the Coleman & Young building I believe where the land bank is, within the same building. So if you go to the land bank, you can go straight in there. If you get it from a title company, just be sure to do that because they do begin to find you. You have, and we can, work with you if that happens to you. We have experienced that happen, but they have up to 90 days, right, to record that deed and to say, hey, this property has been transferred. After that happens, the clock starts essentially. And it depends on your purchase process, but the clock starts. There is a compliance period for a lot of people. And that compliance includes a lot of things, right? It includes sending updates. It includes uh, actually getting an inspection. It includes blight clearances, so many things that it is really our hope to support and create a comprehensive manual for compliance because it is its own process. The application process is big. It is a lot sometimes, but you have support with that. And we want to support you through the compliance as well. There are some resources here, one of which is Patrice, and they can talk a little bit about this. So I'm actually going to pass it to them after this. But the City of Detroit land-based projects office hours, that's a virtual office hour with Patrice, who is the urban director of urban ag in the City of Detroit. First Thursdays, 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. And there is a link here, but we can make that link available in the chat. I'll just copy it. Patrice, do you want to do your presentation? I don't know if it'll be reiterating things or how you feel about it, but I would love to hear it.
Yeah, I think that I was gonna do some parts of it and not all of it. So,
Okay. Yeah.
back. So hopefully people. I was trying to show my face, but my lighting is not good in my room. Sorry, guys. But my name is Patrice Brown. I am the associate director of urban ag at the City of Detroit. So I do have a couple slides that I want to just kind of reiterate some of the things that Gabby was alluding to in her presentation. Really quick, you guys know, I'm sure some of you, and I heard some folks talking before the meeting started, that you should know who owns the land. So Gabby went over a couple of things, the tools that we recommend. So ReGrid, the Wayne County deeds, the land records from the state of Michigan. When you start to do this process of purchasing land, you'll find out that not all lots are owned by the Land Bank Authority. So it is a good exercise if you're going to be a developer or a land investor, vacant lots, or in structures that you know who owns the properties, and really get to use some of these tools. Now, there is a fee for ReGrid, but there is a free version of the ReGrid. You don't have to sign up for the subscription to ReGrid, but you can look and they'll let you limitedly look to see who owns the properties. I see Brenda hand up real quick. I don't want to keep going before we answer or get her feedback. Go ahead, Brenda.
Hey, mamas. I didn't mean to cut y'all short, and I just put it up. You can table me to later, but I had something to say about the how you look up the properties.
Yeah, go ahead.
And I don't know if that's relevant right now, but you can table me to later.
Right on. Yeah, everybody will have their own way, and these are just suggested ways. I will say that these are just suggested ways, and our land consultants are experts in their own right. They've been through this process. I've been through the process. I'm gonna be very transparent. I also was an awardee before I started working with the city of the Black Farm Land Fund in 2020. My family and I received a couple of lots, and we did get the land fund to support us in that. So everybody kind of has their own flavor, I would say, that they want to add to the, like, how they go about looking up lots. And I do appreciate that from Brenda, because she taught me a way of how to use the land bank site and actually look up some neighborhood lots
So
and
I'm
other things.
yeah, I'm on my phone. I don't know if you have the capacity to bring that up, but that's my favorite way.
Yeah.
I've done regrid, I've looked it up on the city, but my favorite way of doing it and my most accurate way that I found for myself and the people that I service is going through the land bank site. But it's a little, it take about 3 or 4 steps. So um I don't know if there's a way to put something together for people to teach them how to do that. I know how to do it. I can just bop through it. There you go. And so you
Yeah,
go
so if you
to,
can see my screen,
yes.
this is the Detroit Land Bank site. All I did was go to Google and search up Detroit Land Bank Authority, and it came right up. I clicked on that link, and this is the pathway that Brenda is suggesting. So you can go under properties on the land bank site, and it's cool if y'all are able to go through this exercise with us right now. That's cool, because this is like a real um training exercise. Really, we want to teach you how to do it so you will have the tools and the skills to do this on your own, with the support of our consultants and the land bank, I mean in the Black Farm and Land Fund. So if you hover over these different um uh initiatives or programs or options here at the top of the land bank site, a drop down will pop up. So properties, you want to look up that, and then you can go scroll down to this map at the bottom and view all listings. And what this does is you want to click on I agree to the above terms and conditions. They're just asking you some general questions or letting you know about the map data, really. It may not be all the way up to date. And I heard a couple folks talking about that in the earlier part of this meeting before we got started. Because not all lots will be posted yet. So there is a demolition process that happens with a house on the lot, for example. A lot of times this is what's happening. And then there are some legal steps that the land bank has to take, and Wayne County and maybe the state of Michigan. They have to take those steps in order to post the lot on this site. So it's legal steps. Unfortunately, the Land Bank Authority is working from previously foreclosed properties. And that's a process. And if you're not familiar with it, you can really look up how the land bank, and you can maybe come to our office hours. I do have office hours as well, and we can talk through how that process looks if you want to. But this is the one of the ways to also search up properties. You can look on here. It'll tell you by the color of the square or the rectangle on the page what program it actually falls under, or how the Land Bank Authority is looking at these properties. This is a really good way to look up the properties, and you can a lot of times click on the actual box or the rectangle on the map, and it can tell you exactly what that property is, and like the parcel ID, what district it's in, the zone. So Gabby talked about the zone. You can look up the actual zone of your area. So you can also pop the address into this search bar up here. If you have the address, that's always helpful. I'm gonna go back real quick to the presentation, and just walk through the different components of what it is that you're seeing on the land bank. So the Wayne County Treasury does a bid process. So if your land is owned by the Wayne County or by Wayne County, they do have an auction process, and I'll pop these. We should be sharing this slide deck with everybody, so you'll be able to see these links, but I'll try to pop as many of them in the chat once I'm done. I don't want to keep going back and forth and lose time. But you can bid on a lot of the Wayne County properties. This was one way that my family and I have owned land as well, by bidding in the Wayne County auction. The Wayne County land bank search, applying online, you can do that here with this link. And then some of the sites may be in Highland Park because of the close proximity some of our cities are to Highland Park and or Hamtramck. So it's diligent work. It takes a little time, but we encourage you to use some of these sites to help you along the way. The Land Bank Authority also, again, Gabby talked about the different types of programs. If you go back to this screen here real quick, let me go pop back over. If you go back to this screen and you go over to the programs, you can see the different programs that they have here. Creative Project, you can do side lot programs, neighborhood lot programs is actually under properties, I'm sorry. Side lot, neighborhood lot, and then they have the purchase property application here as well. You also can do like market programs with vacant lots as well. Now, if you're interested in a house, they do have those options on the land bank property as well. The Black Farmer Land Fund does not cover properties with structures on them. We just focus on the vacant lots, but that's an option on the land bank website as well. Once you know who owns the lots, you must determine if it's a side lot or a neighborhood lot. And I just took you through that process. It'll tell you on the site, if you go to that mapping we just showed you, it'll tell you if it's a neighborhood lot or a side lot on that actual map on the land bank site. That's why I like that map, because it's color coded. You can see which ones are neighborhood lots a lot of times and which ones are market properties. The website defines these different things, and we will focus on side lots and neighborhood lots. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
This is Tanya. Sorry, this is Tanya. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Can you? Okay, perfect. I wanted to share real quick. Also, if someone is searching to determine if a lot is a side lot or a neighborhood lot, it gives you the option to put in the property address. Make sure that it is an address with a primary residence exemption. So like, for example, if somebody is an investor or they don't live in the property address that they are searching, make sure that you use an address of someone who actually lives in the neighborhood or lives on the block, because it won't populate if it's a side lot or a neighborhood lot, if it's an investor property or if it's someone who doesn't actually live, if you're using an address of someone that doesn't live on that block, if that makes sense.
Yeah, a little bit. That makes sense to me, but okay. It might be confusing to the group.
Right. Yeah, exactly. But it's really important because it won't show up. You know, if you do that search, it won't show if it's a side lot or neighborhood lot. So, you know, just again, if it's a property with a structure, you're looking to see if it's a side lot or neighborhood lot, you put in an LLC address that's registered under an LLC, it won't come up. But if you put in your neighbor's address who actually lives in the home full time, or that's their primary residence, then it will show. But it makes a difference. So just wanted to share that with you guys.
Absolutely. I'm gonna go through a real quick some real quick slides, and then we're gonna answer any questions that you might have. I see your hand, Stephanie, real quick. So the Detroit Land Bank creative projects is like a popular option for this group, I would say. Side lots, yes, if you're a resident. Earlier, someone was talking about the lot right next to their house. Side lots are going to be actually the property that's right to the left or the right of your home, right immediate to the left or the right of your home. And then any other lots that's maybe down the road a little way within the 500 square feet is going to be a neighborhood lot or creative project lot. Gabby kind of hinted at some of these things, is how we come up with some of the price points of the lots. Typically it's 25 cents to $3 per square foot. And it can range from like the side lots are $100, but sometimes you can get depending on where it is in the city and what the development plan is of that area, it could range from $750 up to like $9,000. We've seen some of those. And then I will also say this group is getting a discount. So because you're a Black Farmer Land Fund awardee, the Detroit Land Bank Authority is working with Keep Growing Detroit and DBCFSN in Oakland, who are all kind of like partners in this Black Farmer Land Fund space. They're working with them to provide you guys a discount for the projects that you're interested in doing. Real quick, I just want to give you a little bit of visual of what a plot plan would look like. I've been working with some folks in this space, so if you need help with a plot plan, just let me know. I know I owe you one, Brenda. And I've been working with some other farmers on their plot plan. We did equip the consultants with a sample plot plan in the Excel sheet form, and we can make sure that maybe we can have like a training where we can go over how to use that Excel sheet sample plot plan with folks that's might be savvy in technology. But this is a picture of what the plot plan should look like and could look like. Does it have to be this detailed at the land bank level? No, but once you if you're gonna keep that lot as a farm, and you're going to change the use of the lot into an urban farm, you're going to want to give this much detail to your plot plan, because the Detroit Building Safety and Engineering Department, in short BC, you might hear me say BC sometimes, but the Building Safety and Engineering Department is the department that will approve. They'll come out and see your site to get it permitted. But this is the next step after you get into compliance with the land bank. You want one of the compliance rules is to have a permit urban farm or a garden on that lot. So you need to really know the measurements, I would say, the setbacks. I really would like folks to start to familiarize yourselves with the urban ag ordinance. In 2012, 2013, we did, as a city of Detroit, pass an urban agricultural ordinance. And so we have language on the books to allow for urban ag to be a permitted activity on vacant property in the city. So if you need some pointers on that, I can kind of share how to get to the urban ag ordinance, just so you can understand legally your legal right to do these activities on the land. Detroit Land Bank Authority also is going to require you give a budget for your plot plan, if you will, or for your plan on the lot. You did this a little bit in your application for the Black Farmer Land Fund. What you want to do is keep it simple. We ask that you keep it simple so that you don't have to like show, because you're gonna have to show proof. So we asking that you keep it simple. So if you don't have $2,000 for that hoop house yet, don't say you want the hoop house yet. You need to say you want to just do some raised beds. For example, I'll use my plot plan. I just kept it simple. I was donated some raised beds. I used those in my plot plan. And then I said I was going to grow fruits and vegetables on the lot in the raised beds. And so I kept it very simple. And my ending cost was, it came out to be probably under $200. You can say things will be donated. That has been approved in the past. But you just need to be smart about what it is that you're going to budget for the property and make sure you have those funds. If you want to do that hoop house, do it. And if you can show that you have $2,000 or more in your bank account, don't let me stop you from adding that to your plot plan. The market properties are just what Gabby explained. I won't go back through the market properties, but you might be a market property person that has to go through the market properties. It's another program under the Land Bank Authority. Real quick things to look out for: demolition liens on the property. We just helped one of our awardees get this resolved. If you have a demolition lien, you probably won't find out until the inspector come out, or you ask the city for something like, can you combine my lots? And then they'll say, well, you got a lien on your property, or we can't give you a certificate of occupancy because it's a lien. Sometimes that happens. It's happened just recently with one of the awardees here, and we are here to help you. I will put my work email in the chat. Please, if this happens, please reach out to me and let us try to resolve it. Sometimes it will not be a quick turnaround. It might be a month or two or longer, I will say. Just know that any liens on the property kind of holds up the timeline. Let's see what else I want to put out. Title or tax problems. You want to make sure that you work with the land bank. Add that as an ending fee. I think that's a great, because some people can like check this box and say, I don't want to do a title search. You should want to do a title search, please. I implore it. I would require that you get a title search. It can be a lot of legal problems that you have with the lot after you are doing all of those things on your lot, and you really want to get your project going. Record your deed. In Gabby mentioned that it's in the same building as the land bank. Is actually down the road from the land bank.
Oh, yeah.
Miss Montgomery, can you mute yourself? I'm sorry. I hope you're Miss Montgomery. If you have gotten to the process where the land bank is now giving you in your purchasing process and you're signing on the dotted line, they're giving you a quick claim deed in your hand, you want to take it right down the road to the city county building. It's right a block away from the land bank on Griswold. So the land bank is on Griswold, or your title company might be somewhere close knit in the downtown area. You want to come down to the county building, the Coleman A. Young Municipal Building. On the first floor is where you're going to fill out it's like a 1-page application to fill out a property transfer affidavit. That's a PTA for short, property transfer affidavit. You want to do that on the first floor in the city county building. I think they're open from Monday through Friday. Sometimes they're closed on Fridays, depending on the season, but you can fill out your property transfer affidavit and make sure you record your deed. A lot of times the land bank will record it for you, but I wouldn't just lean on that. I would make sure that you are filling out your property transfer affidavit and making sure that they know that you are now the owner on that property. I'll stop right there. I see some hands. First, Stephanie Rebecca had her hand up, and I see Mama Lynn. And if you want to ask your questions.
Thank you, Patrice.
Yeah.
My question is regarding a neighborhood lot that I know for a fact is owned by the land bank, because I spoke with someone in the office about the property because it wasn't listed on their website as a lot that they had for sale. This was 2 years ago when I called them about this lot. The answer that I got was that it was a classification issue with the lot, like the way that the lot was classified with whomever decides that this lot is residential or this lot is recreational or whatever. There's a classification issue. So I just land bank website, pulled up the map to look at the lots. And again, that lot is not listed as a lot for Detroit Land Bank for purchase, but I know they own it, and it's been sitting there. I bought my house years ago. That lot has been sitting there empty for 6 years. Nothing has happened to it. Nobody other than DTE dumping their trees, that when they cut down the trees, they dumped them in that lot. But it's still not showing anywhere as a land bank owned property, even though I know they own it, and they're not listing it because of a classification issue. So how do you work around that when the lot's just sitting there doing nothing?
Yeah, so it takes like months sometimes to get that updated. And like I said, these are formally foreclosed lots. And we can help with that. That's why you have your land consultant. So Gabby put that in there. It's important for you to connect with your land consultant because we can help you through the process. I'm also doing some of the land consultant work. That's my day job. So if they can't get something answered, I'll nudge the land bank for you guys and say what's going on. So if it's a lot that's not on the listed and you know that it's a land bank owned lot, let's nudge them and email them. I'll take a few. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I'm just saying it's been 2 years, so the whole it takes time thing, I mean, like, it should have been done by now, like if they wanted.
Absolutely. Yeah, we would think so. Sometimes the legal process is going nuts. And then the land bank does have turnover. They have a lot of turnover. And then Andrew, y'all have your hand up?
I'm sorry, can you hear me?
Oh, go ahead, Andrew, and then we'll take in.
So just curious, so I went to the city county building and I signed my paper, but they told me I was gonna get something within 2 days, and I believe that's the deed of the land. And so
recorded.
You said recorded?
Yeah, your recorded deed. So I don't know. Is that what you filled out? Is the property transfer affidavit?
Well, yeah, that's what I was saying. So that's what I was about to mention. Do I need to, after I filled or signed that paperwork, because they said they was going to give me that in 2 days, do I need to go to the, I'm sorry, my son in the background, excuse me.
That's okay. I got a dog. He over here doing something in the background.
Do I need to, so tomorrow, do I need to go to the city county building and do the transfer, or, because everything was due to land bank?
Well, only if you already closed with the land bank would you come downtown and do the property transfer affidavit. Have you already closed on your property?
So let me make sure I'm sorry. I got so much in the background. Sorry, excuse me.
That's okay. And we can make sure your land consultant connects you. And I'm gonna put my email in the chat. And you can email us.
Yeah, Andrew, your land consultant is Travis.
Yeah.
And we seen each other today. So Andrew.
Yeah.
So Andrew just made his purchase today. It sounds like he wants some questions on what he signed and what's his next step.
Yes.
Hope y'all can follow up offline.
Okay.
And then just CC me on your notes with Travis. Travis and I talk. We can help you through that. Okay.
Okay. Yes. Thank you.
Right on. Travis is giving a hands up. Yay. Okay, cool. I just put my email in the chat. That's all I had because Gabby really went through all of the compliance stuff. But I want to hear questions. Maybe we got 3 hands up. Mama Lynn or Tiffany or Brenda, you
Hey.
still have your hand up. I don't know if y'all want to go.
Okay, I'm sorry, I couldn't get off mute earlier. I was just saying that, you know, I just did closings with the land bank. Now, we have to remember, I don't know if this is for all programs, but definitely for the Create a Project program, the CAP program, y'all have to stay, we have to stay on the land bank about getting our deeds because we don't do title closings with the CAP program. We don't do title closings. So you have to stay on the land bank about getting your deeds because they did not give me mine until after they had it for 79 days. So ultimately, my deed was registered late because I didn't even receive it for 79 days till after they got it, you know, signed it, and they never sent it over. So just be diligent with staying on the land bank about getting your deeds from them, especially for the Create a Project.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mama Ann, for pointing that out. Yeah, I did. I do remember you telling me that. But yes, be diligent with the land bank. Do not give up. Even if they change the person on you that you've been talking to for like 8 months, and then that person becomes someone else. Keep your emails to them and make sure you keep track every step of the way so that you can tell them like, no, this is where I stopped at. Brenda, Tiffany, Travis, you guys all have your hands up.
Hi.
Wanting to talk, please, y'all
Hey,
go ahead.
real quick. Check the chat. T. Hawkins doesn't know how to raise their hand. They're trying to interject.
Oh, thanks, Travis.
Yeah. If you can get off mute, go ahead and ask your question.
Yes, hi, this is T. Hawkins. I am in the process of buying a house, just waiting on the closing date. It has 3 lots available on the block. So I was wondering, how do I go through the process of getting those lots, even though I'm not the owner yet of the house? And it's not right next door. It's like the lots are like 2 doors down.
You want to get the addresses to the lots, and how you can do that is using one of those mechanisms.
I got the addresses. I called the land bank.
Oh, cool.
Friday. Yes.
Cool. So if they're owned by the land bank, is your house that you purchasing owned by the land bank?
No, it's not.
Okay. So the way you can do it is through the neighborhood lot program, and please correct me if I'm wrong, y'all. Or creative projects. That's like the 2 ways, and you will have to fill out the Google form that they have on the site and let them know that you're interested in those lots next door or right down the road from you. Because if they're not a side lot program, you're not just going to go on the land bank site and fill out a land bank inside the land bank system and application. You're going to fill out that Google form, which is on the land bank site. And I'll try to find that real quick for you and pop it in the chat. But it's a Google form on there that you will fill out, and you will list those properties that you're interested in. And then you would, they would give you like generate a code at the end. You want to take that code and keep it with you, because then when you check back in with the land bank, you're going to say, this is my code to the application that I've completed for y'all for these lots.
Okay.
I just want to say really quick though, it does have to be the primary residence. So if you haven't actually closed on the property you're trying to buy, you have to actually have that deed and then register the primary residence exemption in order to qualify for a neighborhood lot.
Okay, because I was trying to get them before someone else, get them.
Yeah, but you just got to make sure that that's in order, because it won't qualify as a neighborhood lot, because it has to be a person's primary residence, and they have to verify that.
Okay, now what's the process I do again? Because I was driving, I just pulled over.
Want to close on the lot or close on the property,
Okay.
then you have to, uh, and this might not be universal, but you definitely have to register it as your primary residence. So
Okay.
ID, or you have to have some proof that this is your primary residence and that, it's not like a second or third property, or, because they want to make sure that investors are not just scooping up buying houses and scooping up lots,
Right.
like that. So yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Who
Can
do you
I?
know who your land consultant is?
I think it's Tiffany.
It's
Okay, so
Tiffany.
make sure you work with Tiffany to help you through the process, because
Okay.
that's what we're here for.
Okay. Thank you.
Miss
If y'all
Hawkins.
are able to show y'all faces, I'm not trying to put y'all on the spot, but the land consultants, if y'all are able to show us the group y'all faces and they can see y'all, that will be helpful. And then I'm gonna stop talking. Go ahead, Travis.
Miss Hawkins, if I'm not mistaken, I think if you have a promissory note to that property, you may be able to proceed with the side lots.
Okay. A
I
promissory note.
think so. Yeah, if you have that,
Now,
just
how would I get? I would have to go through my realtor or the
or
loan.
your promissory note is issued to you from your lender, your mortgage lender,
Oh, that
or
okay. You get that
or
after
if you
closing.
or if you're purchasing cash outright, your purchase agreement.
Okay. No, it's a mortgage. So.
Okay, so it's almost like the process of when you get that purchase agreement for your real property, that no one else can come in and bid on the property or buy the property because you have a promissory note for so many
Okay.
days. You're in the process of getting that property.
Yes.
Yeah. So if
Yes,
you
but
have
it's
that
like
promissory
45
note,
days out before I get a closing date.
so that should hold you. You get what I'm saying? That should
Okay.
You won't be on the outside like me trying to come into that neighborhood and buy those lots or the other neighbors, so to speak.
Okay.
Yeah. If
Yeah,
you're
I
in
think
that home pot, go ahead, Gabby.
I was just gonna say, I think that also considering the fact that the land bank sometimes moves slow, right? And wherever you are in the purchase of the property, it may actually line up, right? So it doesn't hurt to put in that application, and you can work with Tiffany to do that neighborhood lot application. And it may turn out that you bought the land before they ever contact you,
Okay.
or bought a house rather before they ever contact you. So
Hmm.
it may line up, and it won't hurt to put in an
Hmm.
Oh,
application.
okay.
Um, we got some more people with some hands up. I want to get to them, and then leave it on the floor. I want to hear from y'all. We want to make sure that there's no blockages, that people can spend their money. One of those points in the checklist was that these awards do expire, right? And August 1st is that date. August 1st is the date where these dollars will expire. And all we're asking from you is just to put that application in, right? That's the requirement. If you got that application in, we are willing to hold those dollars on your behalf until the land bank responds, until we get through that process. But we need you to put that application in. So we got Mama Brenda and we got Ann. I think you might still just have your hand up, but we got Mama Brenda.
Yeah.
Um, Peace, everyone. I
Tiffany
wanted
had
to say
also her hand up. I'm
specifically.
sorry.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I wanted to say, anyone who has recently or maybe not recently received a package from the land bank, a closing package, look back through that package to see if you have the affidavits, the land transfer affidavits. Sometimes they do them for you. I've had them do them for me, no problem. I've looked back through some of my packages and they were still in there. So if they're in there and they have not done that work for you, you do need to go down there and make that transfer, or you will be fined. I'm thinking it's 45 to 90 days. I'm not exact genius with it, but you got to go down there and say, hey, this is my land now. Sometimes they do it, sometimes they don't. I don't know what makes them do it and what doesn't make them do it, but it'll be all in your package. Whatever package they give you, if it's a manila envelope, sometimes it's a blue title folder, whatever folder you walk away with, look and make sure if those affidavits are in there. And then you need to check and make sure that they have been registered. If they have not, it is your responsibility to do it, and they will be sitting there not done, and that could cause you
$200. $200. It's wait for $200. But if you
I
don't,
didn't want to say $200, not
cost $200.
$200.
It does. It costs $200, man. I'm like, what?
207 to be exact.
There you go, mama. I
And
did not
that's
want to
that's
put you
that's
under
a lot of money, and a lot of people they're there. Guarantee you, they're sitting right in the package. If
I
they
raised my
if
hand,
they
but
if they look through their package, those affidavits are right there.
can I back off what you were saying real quick? You have to remember, the Creator Project does not have closing packages, so you will not have a property transfer affidavit. You just have to do it. You will not have a closing package if you're on the Creator Project.
Yeah, and that's what I was just gonna say, that perhaps for this call, because everybody is maybe in different phases, and this might be a little confusing or advanced for those that haven't even gotten to a point of identifying their sites, or those who have at least submitted an application. If folks have questions, perhaps we speak, advanced questions, kind of go through our land consultants, but like starting off, I know I have a couple of awardees on the call that do have questions that are still in the preliminary phases. I just don't want to confuse people, because that's great information, but we got folks that still gotta start at, kind of like the beginning phases.
Absolutely. We have a few more hands up though, guys. So let's get to the hands.
Yeah, and let's hear from them. If you feel like you haven't even started the process,
Yeah.
you don't know where you want to even begin to select land at, raise your hand. If you don't know who your land consultant is right now on this call, raise your hand so we can answer those questions. I want to hear from Jared. You had your hand up, but then you put it down.
Yeah.
You still want to say something?
Hi everybody, how y'all doing? I wanted to ask a question about the process of actually buying the land. We did the application, and we got an email from the representative that's helping us, and he said that it went through like approval process. It's going through the approval process, and they had to present it to the regional office. So I'm trying to figure out what steps do they have to take in order for us to actually purchase the land.
Yeah, so I'll try to address it.
Mm-hmm.
When you fill out your application, the land bank, and then you give them all of the things that they required, like your plot plan, all of the budget, they package that together. And then we have East Side regional meetings internally at the city of Detroit with all of the departments involved. They have a West Side regional convening with all of the departments involved, and then they have a central regional meeting, which is all the central neighborhoods. So each every 2 to 3 weeks, we're meeting in those different regional meetings, and we're going over the different projects with the land bank authority or with the housing revitalization department or planning and development, because they all have some way, shape, or form to do with different projects that people want to do with lots or buildings in the city. So in these meetings, there's not just talking about vacant lots though. They're talking about all of the different projects that people want to do in that region. So there may be, a waiting period of 2 to 3 weeks before you hear back, depending on what is decided in that regional meeting. If people can say, yes, I support this, no, I don't, because of said reasons. They ask questions about the project, like if your budget doesn't match up, they'll be like, oh, well, maybe we need to go back and have a one-on-one conversation with this person. And we've done that in the past at the city. So that is the process for your project to get approved.
Okay, so he said he was going to the regional meeting. That was last week. So
Yeah.
he have to do a central meeting?
No, it just depends on where your project is. Is it on the west side? Is it on the east side? Or is it centrally located in the middle of the city?
Yeah, it's Southwest Detroit.
Yeah, so it's a west side. You just would have to, if he did it last week, I would say they need to be reaching out to you based off of what was the decision in that meeting about going forward. Now, if there was any questions from any department on that call, you would have a little delay because they need to go through the questions. They might call you back and ask you some more detailed things that they might have seen on your project plan that they need to just understand better, So be patient, work with your land consultant, and we'll get you through the process.
Okay. Thank you. Appreciate you.
Right on. Tiffany, I don't want to ignore your hand. You've been very patient. But if anyone else on the call that's purchasing land have anything, any questions, please don't hesitate to raise your hand. Go ahead, Tiffany.
I wanted to say a couple things to follow up on. So the PTA, like Brenda said, go through your packets. It really is a true hit and miss with that. In fact, recently the land bank has told me that they don't do them anymore. So I would say now, if you go through a packet and you find one that's filled out and has been submitted, then you win it. You really on the winning side because I've been told they don't do it anymore. The PTA is important for a couple reasons, and it needs to be done within 45 days from the signing your purchase agreement. If it's not done in 45 days, then they charge not the land bank, but the tax assessor's office they charge $5 a day with a maximum of $200. So it doesn't just go to the $200, but whether it's $5 or $200, we don't have no money to be giving them. So get those done within 45 days. And again, if you got one in your packet, doesn't mean that it was properly submitted. Even if the land bank filled it out, you still need to follow up with that within 45 days because now you own that. So they're not gonna accept, oh, well, the land bank didn't do it. You have to do it. And the reason why you need to do it, another reason why, is because that property doesn't change your name publicly until you fill out the PTA, until that's filed and put on record. So in other words, you buy a property and you look it up, or you tell somebody to look it up, and you haven't filed that PTA, the affidavit, then it's still going to show that the land bank owns it. So the sooner you do that, then the sooner that property will register in your name for public record. The other thing that I want to let folks know is that for the most part, this is not 100%. I don't work for the land bank, but for the most part, the deeds are registered with the county register of deeds when you sign the purchase agreement. Land bank does not like to tell people that. In other words, you do not have to wait to get your copy of your deed from the land bank, because as you've heard over and over again, you could be waiting till Jesus comes sometimes. You can go get that your own copy of your deed from the Register of Deeds. Probably, I would say within a couple weeks, 2 maybe 4 weeks of actually signing the purchase agreement. The land bank submits that over to them. Now, what'll happen is one, you'll only get a quitclaim deed. And two, even though you can get that quick claim deed, you won't be able to sell your property until the land bank releases its interest in your property. So yeah, you can go get the deed, you can get it before they give it to you, regardless of what they say. But you can't do anything with that property until you get the ROI. I mean, release of interest. Yeah, ROI is what they call it. So you can get your deed, but you can't use it. It's only a quitclaim deed, so you can't sell your property until land bank releases its interest in the deed, and they only do that after you satisfied their requirements. That was my 2 cents. Thank you.
Okay, really quick, I just want to kind of uplift what Tanya said and make sure that everybody on this call is aware of who their land consultant is. And so I see Andre on this call. I also see Karen on this call. Both of you two are Tanya's awardees, and so that
Yes.
Tanya is your land consultant. Let me see. Do
Yes.
either of you have any concerns, or where are y'all at in the process? Have y'all selected your sites?
Yeah, actually, this is Karen. Hi, everybody. I spoke with Tanya today. I'm in the last process of waiting for them to approve the land. They messed up with the name originally and put it under another name that was on my acquisition um, document. And so that just got corrected. And so once they do that, then I can contact the Black Farm Land Fund to pay for the rest of what I owe because I already paid a deposit on I have 2 lots, so I paid a deposit on both of them. So that would be it.
Okay,
And then there's more next to them that I'm applying for probably this week and get it all together. So I talked to Tanya today and she was very helpful. I appreciate her.
awesome, awesome. Andre?
Audrey, Alan, I'm pretty much also with waiting on
Oh
the.
boy, your
Uh-oh.
sound's really, really bad.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Okay, I'll just put it in the chat.
Okay, yes, yes,
And
perfect.
is Darien still here?
Yes. Also, Jamara is here.
Okay. Darien had a specific question. I talked to most everybody earlier. Oh, looks like she's muted. She was traveling, so I'm not sure if she can unmute. Okay. That's okay. We'll follow up. We'll follow up.
No worries. Is there anybody else on the call that you want to talk to a little bit?
She was the main one
Yeah.
actually who had a specific question for Patrice, but we'll follow up offline
Okay.
or afterwards. But yeah, go
Okay.
ahead.
If nobody else, Travis and Brenda, y'all both got your hand up. Pass it to y'all.
Hey, no, well, I did have something, but I don't know how much time we have left.
Rolling out of here at 7:30.
Oh, okay, 7:30. I don't know if
Yes, ma'am.
you, Gabby, or Mama Patrice, and this is something I don't even know how many people are left on the call, but maybe I'm not saying we got to do it right now, but for those folks who will have to go through market value, there is the land bank has a I don't know. I want to say it's a site that's been very beneficial to me that you can go on, but it takes a couple of steps to go down through it. Like you got to go through properties, and then you got to go through buying these properties, and then you got to go through who owns these properties. But then when you go through and put those properties in, it actually gives up, and this is what I'm going to find the most current um vision of the properties, the last who own the properties, who owns the properties now, with the last sale values were, and what the dimensions of the properties are now. This is my go-to now, and to me it's been far better than um any of the other sites that you can pull up. It's been the most accurate for what we're navigating now. Um, and it's, but it takes a little stepping through to get to it. It's not that easy. Like you got to go to the land bank, you got to go to a drop down, another. It's like 3 drop downs before you can get to there. So that may not be something we can do right now, but I think that that's something maybe we can, you know, navigate, and just have a spreadsheet or something like that, or something to tell people how to go to navigate that, and then they would be in a position to see if the sites, if they're purchased, or the sites they're looking to purchase can be purchased through the land bank, the city, whoever, because it's going to tell you right on that site. It's going to tell you everything probably about that site in the last 5 years on on that click. So I'm thinking that that is something that we can navigate. Maybe not this phone call, maybe
Yeah.
not this day, but maybe something that we can have something, um, maybe a link. And that could be it. I just thought about that. It could really, we can probably be able to figure out how to have a direct link to link people directly to that site so that they can just look this stuff up and see it automatically. It would automatically tell them if it's a land bank site, or if it's not land bank eligible. Now you can go back to the land bank and see if they are neighborhood sites or side lot sites, but this is more for market value
Yeah.
sites.
Yeah. I want to also, Travis has his hand up, but I want to uplift, we have Mama Angela on the call, and I think it was step 3, right after site selection. We talked a little bit about soil testing, and the importance of that, the timing of that, and Mama Angela with KGD and the team over there do a lot of that work with us, as well as the land consultants. So I just wanted to uplift that. Thank you for being here. And thank you for being on the call with us. Is there anything that you wanted to say?
No, thank you. I think almost everybody has gotten information either through KGD or through some other source of how to do your own soil test. We try to encourage more people to do their own soil test and then drop it off to us, so that you don't have to wait for us to schedule it. The soil test, the only information I would want you to know is that soil tests are sent in batches. So we have to have like between 10 and 15 ready to go before we send it to the lab. So as we are just starting the season, we're starting to ramp up soil testing. So they should be going out pretty much every other week at least. And they can take between 1 and 2 months to get back the results. So and then I know your documents show that it's a 30 by 30 area, which is why it's important to utilize the test that the Land Fund awards you, since you only get one if you're a GRP member, a Garden Resource Program member, you only get one per season. But it only covers the 30 by 30 area. So if you have more than one parcel, you really need to test, all of them, preferably, or at least start with the ones that you're going to grow food on. If you don't have if you like, say for example, you you don't want to use all your test stuff because maybe you're not sure which property you're going to use for your project, and you want to just check one parcel at a time. Sometimes people do that so that they don't use up all their tests on a site that they are not going to be able to actually close on. So that's the only thing I wanted to say. And if you have any questions, you can always reach out to Keep Going Detroit.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Mama Angela. Travis, and then we got about 5 minutes and we're gonna wrap it up. If anybody else, again, awardees, if you're on the line and you don't have a question, this is the time. This is us wanting to make sure that you are clear about your next steps, making sure you're on track for putting in an application and spending those dollars. Travis?
Yeah, great information. Glad to be a participant, a land consultant. Glad to share the knowledge. And with that being said, awardees, I mean, like even on this call, let those who put us in these positions, let them know that we're working with you, that we're communicating with you when you're on these calls. We purpose this call because just like the land bank, they want to transfer the land out of their bank, so to speak. And the Detroit Black Farmer Land Fund has put these funds in place for us to really access this. It's really there are obstacles, but this isn't something that's going to stop you. We're here. We all have different avenues. We've all incurred different obstacles, and we have triumphed over those obstacles. That's why we're here. I can't emphasize that enough. And just being real business wise, it's frustrating to not get a response, and then to see some of my consultants or awardees in community, and it just falls by the wayside, because if you wait until the deadline, there's an extension process that the Detroit Black Farmer Land Fund has to convene on to see if you meet the requirements. So if this whole year, these 11 months, you haven't been in communication, you haven't tried to apply, you're not reaching back out to your land consultant, I don't think it's going to be favorable for you to get an extension on your project, because you just somewhat wasted $4,000 if that's the amount you receive. I just wanted to put that in, the importance of the communication here, because we want to see the transference of land. Peace. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Travis. Thank you. Well, thank y'all for showing up. I see Andrew in the chat. You need a soil test. So I can resend. If you will, send me Detroit Black Farmer Land Fund an email, and I can send out the instructions for soil testing. Ultimately, it has a few options, which is doing it yourself. If you already have the land that you are in a process of purchasing or made the purchase of today, then let's make that soil test happen. I'll give you instructions on how to do it yourself, but you could also reach out to Travis or Keep Growing Detroit, who can support you in doing it, scheduling a day to do that with you. What, Tanya? We are here to
Okay.
help. Yes, Tanya.
Yes, I wanted to just share one final word too. I wanted to share with everybody that patience and, like Travis said, communication and diligence is key, because it is a process. I mean, in my own case, it took up to almost 3 years to get through the land bank process. So, just know that you do have to stay in communication with us as land consultants. Also, whomever you're dealing with at the land bank, make sure also that you're documenting every step of the process, and keeping good notes, because you will definitely need to defer to those at some point in this process. So I just wanted to just share that really quickly too.
Yeah. Well,
And
thank y'all.
and yes, email. And I'm not saying don't personal call, because we all have times where we need to just pick up the phone and call somebody for clarification. But you do, as far as the land bank and BC, hold on to those emails. Please send those emails and save those emails, because they will save you in the long run. I've been through the process myself. You have to be able to show where you have communicated. Communication is key, and that's what's going to get us through this process. And I appreciate all of y'all.
Likewise. Okay, you guys.
Was
Peace.
there additional question? No?
Yes, I can give that. I can give that. We hit 7:30 and I was like, all right,
Okay,
bye.
perfect.
But no, is there any more is there any more questions, y'all?
I
I
just
see the
want to
soul testing question.
No,
I just
I
want to
don't
say
know.
something
I'm
real
trying to
quick.
put my hand down.
I'm trying to put my hand up.
I can't put my hand down either.
I just want
All
to say
right,
something real quick.
go for it.
So just my experience of dealing with the land bank, I would just say yes, you do have to be patient, but also you can't be lazy. You know, you can't expect the work to be done for you. When I first got into this, I just thought automatically I was gonna get all the information to me, but no, I had to actually do my part and not be lazy and just actually ask for it and work for the things that I want for. And I also want to touch on one thing. If you if you got to go downtown to was it 500 to the land bank, I would just say the only thing you have to worry about is parking. That's the only struggle because I was struggling today trying to find some parking.
That's real.
That's 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 pretty much it though. That's the biggest struggle for me was the parking during this whole process.
That's real. Katie, it sounded
Well,
like you was
well,
trying to get
congratulations.
off mute. Did you figure
Yes,
that out?
yes, I was. Thank you. Um, well, from listening, I was having an issue with the addresses of the land, because I guess I should have put the address of that home that's next to the land, actually, because it's not, I mean, it's just not a side, it is a side lot. But I need to put in the address of an actual home on the block. Is that what I heard earlier?
Yeah, yep, exactly. You got to put the address of an actual occupied residence. It can't be a vacant house. It can't be, your current personal address if it's not in the neighborhood. It has to be an occupied residence on the block. So if a neighbor or resident, if it's not your home, that has a occupied, or I'm sorry, a primary resident, put that
Mm-hmm.
address in, and it'll show up. Because if you don't, like I said, it does not, the side lot neighborhood lots don't show up. This is a trick, a trick of the trade, tip of the trade that you have to learn. But yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
you'll have your initials, so I don't know your name, but do you know your
Katura,
land
Whitefield,
consultant is?
hmm,
You know who your land consultant is?
Travis. I've
Okay.
been working with Travis and someone else through email, and we talked on the phone.
Okay, bet.
But I kind of paused on it because I was having a hard time with pulling up the actual addresses that I was trying to get, but not I just heard that y'all said I need to actually put in the address of a home on that block.
So, can I interject real quick? Hey, Miss Couture, how you doing?
Hi, good and you.
So, I know we gotta go. So Couture, they put in for a project on, was it Phillip Street, and then decided to change to Grandy Street. So they live nowhere near there. And in order to do that, they will have to change their application process through the Creative Project Community Partnership. When you do the Creative Project, you have to find, so there's no neighborhood association, there's no block club over there that she's affiliated with. So the land bank will allow you to use an existing community partner as an eligible organization to help you, to write you a letter of support, so to speak. So my nonprofit, I'm a community partner in good standing with the Land Bank Authority. So I'm able to assist with that process. So Keturah, I'm glad you joined on, but you paused on Grandy, and we worked on the phone where I walked you through the whole step. I just want to, this is not putting you on the spot. This is letting the other awardees know that, hey, we're as land consultants, we're going to jump on the calls. We're going to pull over on the side of the road, go over the through the site with you, look at the properties with you, just as if we're applying for the property for ourselves, for our own organizations, communities, or legacies. So I'm glad you jumped on, and I hope you get ignited again and sparked to continue.
Okay, thank you. I am. I am.
Right on, y'all. Anybody else on the line before we get out of here on this Monday? I
Yeah.
appreciate everybody for being here.
One more thing, Gabby. Only 2 of my awardees that I'm representing decided to join this call. So that's kind of frustrating too. I know we all couldn't be here, but the importance of this is really not trickling down. So glad to see Andrew. I'm sorry, 3, Keturah and Jarrett on the calls. So, and congrats to Andrew and Jarrett on getting their purchases accepted, their agreements accepted with the land bank.
Right on, right on. Okay. Anybody else? This is the moment. If hearing none, let me look at this chat room.
Hey, Gabby, it's
It's a lot of congratulations and
Monday.
thanks up in there in the chat. Hey, what's up?
Yeah, I just I feel um I feel we should do this. We should follow up maybe. I don't have a follow-up schedule, but I think we need to do this again.
Yeah.
Like before, because
Before August,
right,
definitely.
when I was a land consultant, prior to this, we kind of got down to the nitty-gritty. And I think I like this. It may feel uncomfortable, but I like it. I like the uncomfortableness of it, and we should do this. And um, before we get to the ninth hour, so that we know where we are, and we know where we are as land consultants, and our clients know where they are standing as far as their funding.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
I think also to your point, that is a great point, but perhaps what it might look like to have these sessions and maybe like um a session for people at different phase in the process. So, if we have some awardees, like I have several who haven't identified their lots yet, maybe walking through the parcel viewer or the regrid or land bank piece of it to help identify properties. So and then for those who have gotten their approval and are first in the process of even plot plan or doing the actual installations or going through that process, infrastructure process, or the people who are at the compliance process, because like we said, that's a whole nother piece of the puzzle, but perhaps, and I'm sure we can all discuss at our next meeting, but for the awardees that are on the call, would that be something that might be helpful? Like I'm thinking if we did maybe like basic tutorials for every phase of the process, if that makes sense, to help people all, because everybody is at different phases, like I said earlier, and I think it could get a little overwhelming for those, depending on which part of the process you are. It's a lot of information to take in, but I don't know. That was just a thought as Brenda was sharing that this will be good to continue to have regular meetings like this.
And you know what, Miss Tanya, you just my light bulb went off right at that point, because some of us have, um if we've been doing it, I'm sure we have people from a couple of different awardee years, right?
Right.
And they're all in different steps of their process. What if we thought it out differently, different than based on every year? What if we thought it out as where people are in the process? Because we could have somebody from 2023 that's in the same process
Right,
as somebody
right,
from
right.
2025, right?
Yeah.
And so what if we went back and went through everybody and saw where they were in their process and said, hey, if you're in this process, this person is over people who maybe as a land consultant or anything like that in this process, and maybe these people are in this step of the process, and these land consultants will deal with them in through this part of the process. I'm not saying that's an exact, but it just triggered my thought process when you said that, like, because it can be multiple years and people may not have gone through that process yet. So we may have to, look at that a different way, and to helping people to, because we want everybody to be successful. The goal is that everybody has awarded land. Everybody is going to get their land. We want everybody to move through that process. And we want to help everybody through their obstacles. So that could be just what you said was just it just popped my mind open. So I really appreciate you for
Right.
saying that.
Yeah, yeah. I think that what everyone is hearing is the desire of our land consultants to support y'all, right? I think wanting to hear some feedback directly from some awardees, right? Like the proposition of having more of these meetings where we get everybody together collectively, and we talk about the obstacles, and we work on connecting those dots together, potentially doing that in stages, meeting people where they are. If you're in the process of just selecting your land, developing that community around you. If you're in the process of, making that purchase and you need to know what form you're supposed to be filling out after that, there's different stages to this. So, however we need to approach it, I think what you're hearing is the land consultants wanted to know the best way, to support y'all, and also keep everybody accountable. We're accountable to each other because we're in community together, right? And I think that's what Travis was saying. We're accountable to everybody. We want to see this happen, and we also want to keep each other accountable. Um, so thank y'all. Thank everybody for being here. This is recorded. I'm gonna push this out to awardees who were not here. For land consultants, some of your awardees who weren't here will still have access to this. In this conversation that we had, they can look back on it. Everybody who was here, thank you for being here. Please follow up with your land consultants. Um, please let them know where you are in the process, so we can move forward. We can get y'all closer to land ownership. All right. Good night, everybody. Peace, peace.
All right. Good night.
Good night. Thank
Good
you.
night.
Everybody.
Peace, and I don't know how to shut it off.